Welcome, fair people of YouTube. Today we bring you a third episode of review of the Tempest of the Gods, the newest expansion coming to Shadowverse. Today with me will be FaTina, the basically chief operative and the owner and manager and the boss of our team, Crimson Fencers. So FaTina, how are you doing?
Well, fine. Little busy, but fine.
Yeah, FaTina is really busy with the team and other stuff lately, so yeah, we are kind of busy as a team overall, but we still find the time to record some card review for you guys, so hope you enjoy that one. Right, so let's cut the talk and jump straight into it. Our first card is... That's not the first card, that's the first card. Our first card is the Dryad. So, FaTina, can you explain what the card does? And I will try to, enhance the screen a little.
Well, so this card is a 1/2 for 2, so there's a 2-drop, very interesting for forest. So this card has a clash effect that reduces to 1 attack. So when this card basically battle with another follower. So it's important to notice that the clash activates at the beginning of the fight. So for example, if this card attack a 2/2, in fact it will just fight 1/2.
Yeah, exactly.
So this card trades very efficiently in early game with almost everything, at least something that is not a 3-drop. So you can even trade with 3 drops that has 2 attack, because after the second clash, it will take 0 damage. So this is a really useful tool for something like Control Forest that the expansions try to push. But the thing interesting is the alteration attack effect that Sagan begin to give to Forest.
Yeah.
This is very new specificity for Forest. After something like Lock that they tried to with some card before. So this is a very special aspect that I found very interesting to give to one class.
Yeah, basically Sagas is trying to push Control Forest, which will reduce all your opponent's stats instead of directly killing your opponent units.
Yeah, well, basically I feel like Sagam in general, so there is lock card and reduce attack card, so I think what Forest can try to be at the end will be a deck will not let your opponent play anything anymore. So hopefully, Shadowverse, you can still attack even if you have 0 attack. So for example, you can still trade your Bell Ringer if you need. So a lock mechanism like that is still fine because you can still trade your follower to play something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we will see something like that. Maybe a lock forest after some expansion.
Yeah, Lock Forest would be pretty interesting. We actually had some tests in the early stage of our team. We worked on the Lock Forest, but it didn't really work out. The cards were not quite there. Not enough of the mechanics. But now, maybe, with the Dryad. I actually personally really enjoyed the Dryad. I think she will be a good card, and I will definitely put her as a staple 1-drop in my Rose Queen Forest.
Yeah, well, this card is fine in control. This can also be very good in tempo. Well, the meta seems to be very oriented. At least Sagan tend to try to push many mid-range deck, and a card like that is very strong versus mid-range because you can keep it check 2 or 3 cards just because this card reduces the potential of opponents early game.
Yeah.
And this card tend to stick on board very hard. So for tempos that just want to stick a lot of card and boost with something like Wine God and Cynthia, this card will be very hard to remove, especially if you play Lisa just after, because this card is very hard to trade.
Yeah, because as FaTina said earlier, I don't know if everybody caught that because of the wording, but because FaTina, you didn't really enchant this sentence that this Dryad, it's a clash, so let's say it again, it activates before the damage, This is very important, and this is basically why this card is good. And if you still don't know what Clash is, it basically activates whenever this minion fights another minion, no matter which one attacked. So if your opponent minions attack this minion, let's say your opponent minion has 2 attacks. If they attack the Dryad, Dryad will suffer only 1 damage, and then if you attack them back with Dryad, you will reduce the attack once again to 0.
Yeah.
So basically the only way to kill Dryad is attack her with 3 damage minion or with a spell. And FaTina, how do you think, what about Arena? Is this card good for Forest Arena, or is it not good?
Well, I don't play that much Arena, especially Forest, because I don't like, I don't know how to draft very well, so I play my straightforward class like Dragon and Sword. But a card like this that can trade just very efficiently would be very insane and hard to trade, because in Arena it's not that easy to draft removal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a card like this that can trade very easy will be very pain to face.
Alright, so overall Dryad a pretty solid card, at least in our opinion, but I think we made some good arguments, so yeah. Definitely looking for this card. Then the next one is Luminous Match. So this is a new silver for Swordcraft. This is a commander, 5 mana 2/3, which stats are not really good, but it summons a Luminous Knight. Luminous Knight is a 2 mana 2/1 that whenever it evolves, so basically once, it will gain only +1/+1, but it will give all your other units +1 attack until the end of the turn. So you basically get for 5 mana, you get 4 stats of value, and also evolution points won't be used when you evolve allied commander. So the same effect as Titania Sanctuary. Your fairies do not consume evolution points. I'm pretty sure the wording is different on these 2 cards, but I will have to double check that. And yeah, so in my opinion, this card is pretty good in the commander craft that will definitely have coming, with new support to the only commander decks, like Gawain and the support cannon. But I'm not sure if you can justify running that. Well, you can always play this on 5 and evolve the Luminous Mage to get a 3/2 rush and 2/3 without rush, and also +1 attack to your other minions. But you have to look at the curve, right? Because you can play that on turn 5. And how do you set up your board so the Luminous Knight actually is good on turn 5? Any ideas, FaTina?
Well, for me this card is like Tia. Exactly like Tia. Just the fact that you don't have to use your evolve point for most part is very important, because you gain a huge advantage. Evolution is very, very important, especially for mid-range deck that will try to win. And having an evolution point more than your opponent, basically, is very, very important. And this card is very polyvalent, because, like you say, you speak about Commander Sword. So, well, this card first summon 2 body. So if you play cannon, basically you shoot the cannon twice.
Oh, you are right.
Yeah. So
actually, isn't it like when you play a commander?
I need to check it again.
Yes,
I think it's probably just when you play it. So, yeah, probably when you play it. But
whenever an allied commander is played, so you will not activate it twice.
Are you sure? Because Elta said play from end. So, okay. Except for that, Luminous Match can be used in aggro deck. Very swamp. I feel like mid-range will be very strong in the meta, and I can feel this card arrive just after Floral Fencer, if you are second, for example, and try to rush and finish your opponent in one shot. Especially because Luminous Knight, because most of the time you can evolve Luminous Knight to make a board boost, but you can also evolve Luminous Mage for nothing.
Yeah.
So Luminous Match can be basically a 4/5 rush summon to 1 for nothing, so you can trade for free basically. And when we know that Sword has probably the best card when we count as a solo card, so well, Albert is insane, Regal is insane. Sword don't need synergy. Sword use just minions that are very, very strong alone. And this card is very polyvalent in the way that you can use it. So this is why I think this card is a little like Tia. You don't require evolve points. This card can cheat it many things. It's not broken. It's just very, very easy to add in many decks. The only issue of this card is maybe the commander, so you don't really want to mix it in something like Albert Craft because you don't know each time you want to put it with Maid. But I won't say this is broken. I will just say that this card fits maybe too many archetypes.
So something like Sage Commander used to be.
Yeah, but maybe more auto-aimé, I guess, than Sage Commander. But yes, this is a Sage Commander a little faster, one turn faster.
Yeah, it's a bit faster.
Yeah, and you can play this and play Alvidia just after that. So in the card, this card is fine because you don't always want to use Albert Sound 5.
Yeah, you usually don't if you are playing Albert Craft, unless you are playing versus control deck or combo deck and you want to rush them. Well, versus aggro deck it's also sometimes a good play, so I guess you always want to use Albert on 5.
Yeah. Well, versus aggro deck, this card is also good because you trade and gain an advantage for the mid-late game.
Yeah. Alright, so in Arena I think this card will be heavily played, mostly because you cannot like guarantee yourself drafting a decent split of officers and commanders, so this will, help a lot of the consistency of commander because you get 2 of them. It will also evolve for free, which is insane in Arena. And it can also, if it sticks to the board, you can basically evolve every turn for free and gain the advantage of evolution points. And Olivia is the single best legendary on Arena simply because evolution points are the most important part of Arena. And this guy or girl actually gives you a solid advantage on this ground.
Yeah, you can just add also it's 2-body, and 2-body is really important, especially for Sword. And because in Arena it's not easy to remove 2 cards in one turn.
Also. Because
it's all about trade, so you can find a way to have an advantage at some point on board. And Sword is a class that tends to swarm most of the time in Arena. It's difficult to make just basically a storm sword. So it's very the most swarm card you have, the better it is, and you already say it. Save 1 turn of evolution point is just insane.
Yeah, and it's still like a 4/5 with Rush is a considerable threat on turn 5 on Arena.
Yeah, it's the only issue is that the stat won't be that great, so you probably will trade directly the Luminous Match. It will be a target very easy to remove for something like May and cheap damage. But you don't really mind. You can retake the board with the evolution point you save.
Yeah, I mean I would trade the card for evolution point.
Yeah, I think the card worth it.
Yeah, alright. So next up we have Freshman Lou, boys. So yeah, this card, I often say on my stream that there will never be a 2-mana draw a card outside of Runecraft. And I mean 2-mana draw a card with an effect, because Glimmering Wings from Forest are kind of just 2-mana draw a card. They are not overpowered, but I still think that they are not too good of a creation for the class. But yeah, this is actually a 2-mana minion that draws a card, but at least it's for Runecraft. So from Fanfare, this will draw you a card, but not any card, just a spell boost card. It can draw both minions and your spells. If we ever get Amulet with spell boost, it will also draw your amulets. So, alright, FaTina, can you tell me why this card should not exist?
Well, after I see this card, I just hope for everyone that the meta will be aggro because this ship will be just insane. Well, this card is a melee Merlin, but arrive. Well, most time you play a Merlin in D-Shift because this card is for D-Shift. I don't see this card be played in other archetype. Well, you can because it's a tutor, but in D-Shift this card is insane. This card can tutor you Dimensional Shift very early in the game, and you cast Spell Boost. The issue with Merlin most time is that Merlin arrives turn 4 at least. So if you don't have already a D-Shift at this time, you need to rush to have it, and it's very difficult to pull out. This card basically you can play at turn 2 and very safely draw something. So first you have this part, so you can draw D-Shift more early, and this card is in range of Glow. So in something like Mirror, you have one more card that you can use to waste your Glow on it, and I think I will hate even more D-Shift Mirror now.
Yeah.
More than I already do.
So the Glow, the 2 mana, return a minion to your hand that, return a minion to its owner hand that costs 2 mana or less.
Yeah.
So yeah, Freshman Blue is in range indeed. This is the problem that we had with, like, what was that card? I believe there was one card that used to be playing this shift, but when aggressive meta came out and you couldn't glow it anymore, like you needed glow in the deck versus aggro decks, and you couldn't really glow this card, so it went out of meta.
I think it was I forget the name. It was a card that when you evolve you draw 2 cards, if I remember. It was the 2/2 that evolved in 3/2, and when you evolve it you can draw 2 cards.
This is actually 2 mana card, I believe.
Yeah, it was a 2 mana card.
Alright.
It was yeah. While you play it at the beginning, because the meta was not aggressive, so basically you can play very greedy in this shift, but soon the meta became a little more aggressive, so this card was not played because it's too risky. It's not just glow, it's not that you don't want to waste glow on it, it's just also because, well, Levy begin using. So when you have Levy, you don't really need something else at 2 drop. You play most of the time Golem because Golem can spell boost, and you have Levy on the top of this. And well, this card will make a huge difference in combo mirror, I guess. Because again, in D-Shift Mirror, this card will be in both deck, but when you play a combo versus D-Shift, something like OTK Dragon for my case, what you want is to let D-Shift brick like hell. So you try to don't play forward. You try to not let D-Shift waste his end. So try to make it brick.
Yeah.
But this card will remove one of the brick card of D-Shift that is Glow. Because D-Shifts are very difficulty to remove Glow from your hand, because if you don't have Levy, you don't have Golem, you don't have a way to remove it because your opponent will never play something in Glow target. If he's not stupid.
Yeah, also this card gives you another option for turn 2 versus control decks.
Yeah.
And versus aggro deck, it's still better than like most of the cards because you both draw and get a minion. Also, this is a minion, so another target for you to evolve in Runecraft.
Yeah.
Because this shit doesn't really have a lot of evolve targets. They have basically Levi's, 1 or 2 Merlin, and if they want, they can use the evolution to speed up the OTK process. But to be honest, usually OTK is always an OTK, no matter how much evolution points you have.
Yeah. Well, the case is when you need to remove something like when you play versus Dirt, sometimes they wall a little too much, you need an evolve point to remove a little the wall. Well, you can also use evolve point with something like Blade Mage. So I use a D-Shift with Blade Mage because you need less fire chain to pull it.
Yeah.
So, well, this card is just way too good. You can play it in every Runecraft deck. Well, I think Dryad won't play it because this card, well, will maybe slow Dryad a little down because Dryad is very tempo based and this card is suck at tempo. But I feel this card can be played in PTP. This card can be played in D shift and will be played in D shift. You can play this card in dirt. It's a tutor spell, so you can basically tune your deck to draw something like Fate End that is always good, especially if you play control.
Yeah.
So yeah, this card is just too good to cut. It's a little like Gobu, but well, Gobu pull Roach. This card pull D shift.
Yeah, and we used to have Merlin with Fate's Hand in Dartrun as the engine of draw. Now it will be Freshman Lu and Fate's Hand.
Yeah, there's also the Dwarfs and the new other amulets.
Yeah, we have a lot of tutors right now in Runecraft.
Yeah.
Which is probably healthy for the game, because Runecraft is kind of this tutor class that want to cycle a lot and draw combos.
Yeah, well, hopefully there is not new spell draw card. So at least this will not accelerate the spell boost.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, so I guess we are done here. Our next card will be the Dragon. Actually, it's not a dragon, it's a Dragoon Scyther. So yeah, it's a Scyther, so it's a Pokemon. You can choose him. And it's a 3-mana 2/2 Bane that if you play it on Overflow, it will gain Storm. So FaTina, as a combo dragon player, what do you think about this?
Well, there is two cards that I choose for my OTK dragon, and this card fits the bill. What I don't like about Aether, because this card can be very compared with Aether, is that Aether costs you too many player point on your turn, so you can't play this card and cycle. Well, this card has everything you want. It gains Storm for cheap, so you can do damage easily in your turn, and this card has Bane. So if you manage to pull a board that is not that hard when you play FaTina on one turn, because you tend to play FaTina, Gobu, and sometimes Ivory Dragon, well, you can play this card, remove a wall, and evolve Gobu and Face, and now you are in range for the OTK to pull out. In fact, this card will help OTK Dragon to be more consistent, because it will be less difficult to be in range of the OTK, especially if you play something like Conjure, because Conjure had 4 damage during your combo. So yeah, I really love this card. Well, my only issue is that Durandal is a thing, so TK will have more difficulty versus Sword. But yeah, I really love this card.
Yeah, but don't you think that it's actually a bit too weak to set up Little? Because the OTK does 15 damage. Like, this is the consistent OTK of 9 cards in hand, Dragonute, Dragonute, Dragonute into Alter Fate, right?
Well, you can OTK with Wilfang, double Alter Fate.
Yeah, that's 22
time.
Damage, but...
And if you add Conjure, it's 16. But you don't use too much Evolve point in OTK. So Dragon Evolve, it's 4 damage. The 4 damage you need some time. And this card is very useful because you can use it a lot of times. There's many games that I win just because Aether alone. Well, also because Aether can't be target. But having a card like this that you can play a continuous cycle is very useful, because in OTK Dragon you ramp, but you ramp even more harder than ramp deck, because you only think about this. So there is almost always a time when you can find a way to do the damage, because your opponent will have to face you, and if you don't play Sword, you won't have that many wall, especially in our game. But well, I think Sword is now the hard counter of all combo anyway, so I don't really mind that this card is not that good versus Sword.
Yeah, and when I look at this card, I see it more in a Ram Dragon as a removal, because this is basically 3 mana kill a unit unless there is a ward in play.
Well,
Overflow.
3 mana remove an unit with a priority of ward. Yeah. Well, this card can fit a ticket because I know this card will enter my deck, but yeah, this card is strong in almost all type of dragon. This can be good also in aggressive dragon, I guess, because we see new storm card for dragons, so maybe a storm ramp dragon will come back, storm aggro dragon, something like that.
Yeah, actually, statistically, this is still a good deck, storm ramp dragon.
Yeah. So.
All right, and in
I can see a lot of cards being played.
And in Arena, it's not as good as a vanilla stats, but it has Bane. I guess 3 mana 2/2 Bane is good enough for Arena. And Overflow, you don't really draft ramp consistently. So yeah, I don't think you will be on Overflow that often. But still, I think it's worth it, 3 mana 2/2 Bane.
Yeah, I think this is good.
Alright. Our next card, and now we are going into golds, will be Blood Moon. So, Blood Moon is a 3 mana amulet for Bloodcraft that says Vengeance is active for you even if your leader defense is more than 10. It is countdown 4, so only for 4 turns, but it's still a lot for 3 mana. So FaTina was really eager to talk about this card, so I'll let him begin. What's up?
Well, first it's third turn. You can play this card 3 times, and when you know how times the game tend to be like turn 8, turn 9, basically you can have Vengeance all the game if you want. If you have the good setup, you can have Vengeance in all the game. This card creates a new way for Vengeance Blood to actually be a thing, because we have new cards that tend to let you go in Vengeance, like Belphegor, if I have to take an example. So we can see that Cygame tried to push Vengeance Blood, but I really fear this card is too strong, because Blood effects are maybe the strongest effect of the game, because Vengeance is so risky to activate in general. But this card just fuck up everything we think of Vengeance before. So I don't know what to tell about this card. It's really difficult to know if this card is too broken or if Vengeance Blood is just too inconsistent. It's really difficult to know right now.
It will definitely give some consistency to Vengeance players, but the question is, like, do you even care about being on, like, does it matter that you are above 10 HP when you are on Vengeance? Because, like, with cards like Belphegor, you go down to 10, and then you dish out some sick combos, and you probably heal a bit, you probably deal a lot of damage, you probably build a lot of board, because that's what Vengeance does, gives you sick benefits for the price of being in range of most of the combo cards. So if there are a lot of roaches in the meta, this card may see play, but I don't think outside of roach there is anything you have to be scared of in Vengeance Blood.
Well, I don't know, because Vengeance, Blood in general, but Vengeance Blood, I can see a deck that is very bursty, a little like the Storm when we are in Darkness Evolve, that has a huge strong play. I can see Blood play something like a mid-range burst deck, and this card will add consistency. There is very a lot of cards that benefit to be in Vengeance.
Well, we actually they already crafted a deck on our team. I don't think you were there, FaTina, but the deck was based on the Baphomet that can fetch you only 1 Azazel or 3 of this new legendary that we have not talked about yet, but it's basically 8 mana 5/5 that summons a copy of itself, and if you are on Vengeance, it will summon a copy of itself until your board is full. And the combo was you play Belphegor on 4 to get on Vengeance, then you drop Baphomet on 5 to fetch either Azazel or the new legendary, and then you drop the new legendary because the Serpent, because the Serpent would be would be cheaper by 3 because of Belphegor, Baphomet. Yeah, they have similar names. And yeah, you can basically fill your board with this, or you can fetch yourself an Azazel to OTK on turn 10 with Azazel, Laura, and Razor Claw to the face.
Yeah, when you Theorycraft the deck, Blood Moon was not a thing because it was revealed yesterday in during the show. So, I guess this card help Blood to have consistency as Vengeance. To know if this card will be played or not will very depend on the meta. People will try it because this card open a lot of possibility, but it's very difficult to know if you can play Vengeance Blood or not, because this card help you, and this card will pressure your opponent because there is no certain gap, so you can rush, but he will pressure to rush too, because you can have a turn 7 Blood Moon into Revelation, for example.
Yeah.
In something like more aggro, more control, I mean. So, this card is a new card for Blood to play around. I found Blood very boring before the expansion, so I just hope that Blood have a new type of deck, because, aggro and control are very different, and mid was not that good. So if you can have a mid Blood, it could be very great.
You should have tried my Storming Soul Dealer deck then.
Yeah. Maybe.
Right. Anyway, yeah, I think with that said, we can move on to the next card, which, by the way, is Tarnished Grail. So this card that came to us from Fate series is insanely powerful but slow. Well, I kind of disagree with that, but FaTina has the different opinion here. So basically what Tarnished Grail does is it will from Fanfare deal 2 damage to all the followers, and then after 3 turns it will die and randomly put 3 of the 4 Satan cards into your hand. So, FaTina, why do you think this card is good?
Well, this card is maybe the thing that Seraph need, because the issue of Seraph is, if you play pure Seraph, you play Seraph, Odin, Seraph, Odin, Seraph, Odin, you're okay. If you don't have Satan, you lose. Basically, it's like this. Seraph need now something that play with amulets, because I think that Cygame tried to break a little hybrid Haven deck, because they add ideas that can go very well in something like Guardian Sun, very follower-based deck, and there are ideas that can go very well in an amulet-based deck, because you don't want this card to be triggered, because I think people know how Satan is very strong. I think people know that. And if the RNG is a little against you when this card proc, you are destroyed. So this card is not as consistent as Satan, because you don't draw and you don't have a pool of cards you will draw. But I don't think you want this card to trigger anyway. It's slower than Seraph, but this card is an option for Seraph to not auto-lose if Seraph get banished 3 times. And it's not something that you want to not play around. So this game is a very new option to Seraph that is different than a follower. This is an amulet. You can play an amulet-focused deck with that. Or more focus, I mean. You will still to play...
I definitely see your point. but I'm not sure how the last words will work here, because how it's worded, it should give you one of 3 options. I mean, not like that. It will give you one of the 4 options 3 times, but you cannot repeat one card. Like it will basically not give you the 1 out of 4 times 3. It will give you 1 out of 4, 1 out of 3, and 1 out of 2.
No, I think it will pull 3. Well, we need to test it, but the way I understand it is that this card is like you draw 3 cards out of Satan deck.
Yeah, so you can get triple Astaroth Reckoning.
Yeah, I guess you can't draw 3 Astaroths. I think there will be the limitation of Satan deck, so you won't draw 3 Astaroths. So maybe 1 Astaroth and 2. Well, we need to test it because I don't communicate about how the effect proc. But for me, the way that the game is designed, I think it's more easy for them to have. Okay, you have the pool of Satan deck and you draw 3 out of it.
Oh, I see.
So 3, 3, 3, 1. So I can see this like this.
Yeah, that
we need to
make sense, really.
Yeah. Well, I won't try to draw a 3 Silence Rider directly in my hand, honestly. So it's very difficult to know, but each of these cards has a huge impact. So
except for Satan's Servant.
Well, Satan's Servant is fine if you play at any point. It's true that it's not that good if you play Seraph, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's still a 13-13 for 5, alright.
Yeah, and this is something that you don't want to play around, definitely. So yeah, I think this card will be played in Seraph. Something like maybe 3 Seraph and 2 of this card.
Yeah.
So like that you have 5 options in late game. So, 5 options versus 3 Odin. Make your choice, guys.
Yeah, but I would much rather prefer if the 2 damage were dealt at the end of the turn. Instead of Fanfare.
Well, when this card is on board, you can play a card from your hand. And don't remember that you can proc the effects. If you use a card to reduce the cooldown, you can have an insane turn 9.
Yeah, but it's not as good as Seraph, right?
It's not something like absolute win condition like Seraph, but it's not something that you want to inure. So it's true that you want to keep your Odin for Seraph, but you can't die right away because you inure this card.
Yeah. So I see.
Azeroth is not a joke.
It is definitely secondary Seraph.
Yes. Not as strong, but a huge support for Seraph.
You can basically play more Seraphs now in the deck. If you think 3 are not enough, you can have more.
Yeah.
But would you put it before the Seraph? For example, 2 Seraphs and 2 Tarnished Grails?
Well, Tarnish can be an AoE, so because the 2 damage can be what you need. Well, it really depends. I am not a control player. Seraph is stronger. Seraph is an absolute win condition. So if you can play Seraph and win just after that, I don't think you have to not play Seraph right away. Except if you are about to die. But yes, Seraph is better than this card, but this card is a way for Seraph deck to have a solution.
I would actually see Tarnished Grail in the Guardian Sun deck, because it gives you some AoE, it gives you some cards that are very good in the Guardian Sun deck.
No, I prefer Dark Gem.
I mean, I would play both.
I don't really like it. Well, turn 8, you can have, you have the new neutral legendary that can do 2 damage turn 9. You can run cycle package in Guardian Sun now. Cycle package is very strong.
Yeah, so Cycle may actually make a comeback to the Guardian Sun deck.
Yeah. So I don't think you will play this card. You have no way to proc it, and it's not something that you want to invest when you play very forward-based deck.
Yeah,
Because you won't have
unless you play the Guardian Sun with Amulet, something like Guardian Sun and Storm Heaven together, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, maybe something like this. It's too difficult to know if the deck will pass the meta. So,
Alright, and our next card will be Grimnir, War Cyclone. So, let me say one thing quickly about this card. I was pretty sure that we'll never get a neutral 3 mana 2/3 ward, because the thing about 3 mana 2/3 ward is that it trades for both 1-drop and 2-drop, and in extreme scenarios it will trade for both 2-drop and 3-drop. So yeah, I really am kind of disappointed, but then on the other hand kind of excited, because we'll finally see if my like, you know, presumption that we will never get it was based on only just my feeling or actually the game knowledge.
This card is too good to be neutral.
Yeah,
just the vanilla stat is already too good to be neutral.
Yeah, so it's basically 3 mana 2/3 ward that on enchants 10 deals 1 damage to all enemies 4 times. So it's basically like 4 damage, but looking at that I think it will proc cards like for example, if you have Skeleton Knight, it will kill the Skeleton Knight and then also kill the little skeleton.
Yeah.
I think that's how it will work, but not sure here. And there are also cards that whenever they take damage something happens, or are there not? I may be cross Maga.
Well, Temple Defender will never die on this card.
Temple Defender will never die. Alright, so there is actually some merit to it. Alright, and how do you think? Is it an auto-include in every single deck?
Well, this card is maybe one of the cards the most exciting, because this shows that the game want to slow down a little the meta, because giving a ward, vanilla ward, because it's a vanilla stat, ward for 3 for every class, well, this card can be auto-include if you really want, if you need absolutely a ward on 3.
Yeah.
This card is just the best stat for on 3 for ward. So if you want to play a slow deck, at least to not too aggressive and to counter the very early game, this card is strong. First, this card is very strong for that. And well, I really love the enchant effect. This card, I love this card. This card is very polyvalent. For me, this card is almost a new Albert.
Yeah, so it's the enchant effect is basically 7 mana 4 damage to all enemies. So it's really a powerful effect.
Well, it's conflagration without the output for you.
But instead of your board, it hits your opponent's face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty strong. And yeah, the same way I thought that we'll never get neutral 2 mana 1/1 draw a card, I thought we'll never get 3 mana 2/3 ward. But I was apparently wrong. We got 3 mana 2/3 ward with additional effect that is crazy powerful.
Yeah. Well, for me, I will play this card in my this OTK Dragon.
Yeah,
definitely.
I will definitely play it in my OTK Dragon too. Like, it cannot be tort, it's your late game.
Well, this card can replace Prison Dragon, can do early damage, because sometimes you struggle to do early damage because Prison Dragon can't attack. And you ramp so hard that you can just, well, gain 1 turn and do 4 damage at the same time. Because sometimes you just want to tempo because you break a little, you have too many Afterlight Fate in your hand, and you play this card. This card is just insane in all type of very controlled deck in general. The stat line is fine for early games, the effect is very fine for late game because it gives you a huge advantage. Well, maybe the only issue of this card is well, the enchant effect, you will never trigger it versus combo. Maybe because it's too slow versus combo, but I don't see a weakness of this card. This card is just too strong.
Versus combo, it's a 3 mana 2/3 ward, and that's not too slow.
Yeah. I mean the enchant effect, but
I really think every deck will play this, like every non-aggro and maybe even some aggros, because 3 mana 2/3 ward is just crazy. It's just way too good. It stops every single 2-drop. Like, the only 2-drop that matters after this card is released will be the Serpent Charmer from Blood, because it has 3 attack on 2 mana cost. And of course, Cycle Soldier and...
Well, there is a Bane card for Shadow, there is Reaper, that still be a pain to remove. But yeah, this card is really huge. You play very aggressively in early game, I put you a stop. Blues can pass it with Razor, but I don't know why they're printing this card for every single deck.
Well, of course no, but it's you consider this card in every single deck. I say you consider this card in every single deck, including aggros, but you probably don't put it in every single deck. Like Guardian Sun won't need it. Guardian Sun has better options. Yeah, but for example, Ramp Dragon. This is an amazing tool for Ramp Dragon.
Well, this card can be played in every deck if you absolutely need a new ward. The only drawback of this card is that this is a neutral card, so almost no synergy if you don't play neutral craft.
Yeah.
So yeah, this card lacks synergy, but not all class have a good ward like that. I think yes, Sword is better. You can play Blitz Lancers, you can play you play Trooper most of the time. There is option in decks, but this card can fit almost everywhere. This is why this card is just insane, and it's not like a 1/4. This card is a vanilla stat with a true attack. So yeah, good body, enough attack to trade everything in early game. I don't know weakness of this card.
Alright, and we have one more card, the last one, which will be, you guessed it right, for Shadow. Mint, I hope that's his name or her name. I'm not even sure.
I think it means
Minth. Yeah, Minth of the Underworld. Fanfare, your necromancy effects cost 0 shadow until this follower leaves the area, which means 6 mana 13/13 every single time with Storm, which means your Demon Lodge each turn will always fill your board, which basically means a lot of free stuff for Shadow, as long as this thing lives. Now, can you guarantee the 4 mana 3 for living? That's the other story. FaTina, what's your opinion on this?
Well, this card is a new Bloody Mary. Let's be honest, quickly, this card is a new Bloody Mary. Well, I love this expansion just for one case, is that with cards, so for Forest we have Birdie Cage, for Blood we have now Moonblood, is that you have card when you want and can create a deck solely because of the card. Because of the card you can try to play a Necromancy Shadow. Very more expensive Necromancy Shadow. Because this card can be played in combo with a lot of cards.
Yeah.
And Necromancy is not as strong as Vengeance when we compare by the effect of card, but Necromancy can be very, very strong in many cases. So I can see some combo deck, maybe mid-range combo decks that can play around this, but for me this card will be more fit in the mid-range Shadow. Mid-range Shadow is a lot of has good support. And I love this card after Goblin Zombie. So like you can have, so you have a Goblin Zombie, so 3/2/3, and with this card just directly play after that. We give +2/+2 on your your Goblin Zombie, so you can be very aggressive. It's really hard to remove. So, well, this card is like a Bloody Mary. Basically, if this card stick one turn on your board, you win. Just because it means that your opponent has absolutely no answer after that. And this card cures very well because Shadow, especially when you play mid-range, lack a good 4-drop. Because you can play the Evolve card for Shadow, but the fact is she has 4 defense and not 5 like EPM and other strong like Fraud Fencer. So she can be traded very easily.
Yeah.
So
there
this card
are
is
some
absolutely.
other cards that people play on 4 instead of that. Like I've seen people use the Soul Eater. No, that's a 5 mana card. Yeah, but
Well, basically you have the leash that you can play
yeah,
with the card that summons the leash, but there isn't that good for mana card in Shadow. And I guess this expansion is build a deck around one card and build something around one card. This card allows a lot of things. And if you manage to, even if you manage to play with just one card without necromancy, without use one necromancy, it's already worse.
yeah,
Because necromancy matchups can be hard sometimes, very difficult to use all of them easily. So yeah, this card open a lot of things.
like for
And
example, if you use even necromancy for 2 shadows, it's a 4 mana tree for gain 2 shadows, and that's actually not that bad. We have the card 4 mana 4/3 that gains you 2 shadows. That is not being played, but that's mostly because 4/3 is a bad stat unless it has some tremending effect. And Mint definitely has better stats and more potential than just 2 shadows. So
yeah,
if you play necromancy in your deck, you probably want Mint just in case. The same way as Bloody Mary works, you can put her in any blood deck that has self-harm and is a bit
well,
slower than face
you
aggro.
can play a combo turn 7 with Tempest, for example.
Yeah,
You can play Skeleton. You can trigger. There is the new Amulet card that trigger and summon zombie when you use necromancy. There is many ways you can use this card. This card is like Bloody Mary. There is many combo you can pull, but this card arrives one turn before Bloody Mary, and this can help you to have a little more impact. Especially because Shadow lack a 4-drop anyway. So this can be auto-include is almost every deck of Shadow, just because the effect is always good and cure very very well.
yeah. And on Arena, I think this card is even better.
Well, I try Shadow a lot in Arena. It's true that having Necromancy card is very hard to pull because you don't it's very difficult to balance a lot your Necromancy card.
Yeah,
But this card is a vanilla stat, so anyway, this card will be good in Arena, at least for that. And it's true that you can pull something stupid with this card sometimes. If you have a little too much Necromancy card, this can very save your ass. Especially because you have permanent Necromancy effect, so you will never waste your Necromancy anyway.
yes,
Something like Zombie and the new amulets.
yeah. The Grave Desecration, I believe.
Yeah, this card.
So Mint is definitely not a first pick on Arena, but as a last pick, it's very good if you have Necromancy set up already.
Well, this card is never bad. It's not excellent, but it's never bad. So if you have a good card plus means you can take it.
Like
It's safe.
Or
Yeah.
Mordecai.
Well, Olivia is insane. Yeah, if you have Olivia plus means well, most of the time if you have Olivia plus something else, you can almost take it already. So except if you have something very very garbage tier. Well, I go 5-0 with a Tyrant, so and Olivia, so
Yeah. I mean,
Olivia is
Tyrant is
just
pretty good on Arena. It's pretty good.
well,
Tyrant.
a little bad stat, but can trade a lot, so it's
Yeah.
fine.
Alright, so I think we are done here. This was our last card. And
Yeah.
again, guys, it was FaTina, the boss of Crimson Fencers. And my name is Roxos. You can find me on Twitch. You can also find FaTina on Twitch. We'll definitely post his links in the description. And thank you for watching this Crimson Fencers episode of Card Review. Any last words, FaTina?
See you guys.
Alright, peace out.